Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Shirin with her fantastic film, Navel Gazer. Let's take a look at the clip.
I see my baby emerging sweetly from my womb. I see my baby emerging Diana, stop, please, designed to do this.
Welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. Welcome to the family, and thank you for coming all the way from San Francisco to be here. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Navel Gazer starts with a non-binary protagonist, Cora, who is pregnancy phobic and also is a really great friend to their roommate, Diana. Diana, by contrast, has a lot of body struggles where she can't get pregnant, but very badly wants to become a mother.
Yeah.
So it really starts off when Cora receives a check for $8,000 and a thank you note for their eggs from a mysterious clinic called Fertile Crescent.
Shirin, this film was amazing. Like, this was, like, honestly, like a film I'd never seen before. It was like a masterpiece vision. Like, you did such a great job. And there's so many levels to your film that was so great. Everything from the acting to the way, the production design, the way you set the film up, and just kind of the importance and the horror of some of the realities in the context of this film. Where was that moment for you? What was those feelings, those moments, those things that drew you to turn this into a film?
So the idea for the project came to me like a number of years ago. I was sitting on a San Francisco bus and I saw this ad directed to people in my age group that said, freeze your eggs to make a perfect family, something along those lines. And there was something in the language there that struck me as very adjacent to eugenics, and not being sure if that was their intention or if it just was something that they were using as part of their marketing.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it really disturbed me. So I've kind of sat with that idea for a while. And as I was exploring some of these questions myself around gender and pregnancy, I was thinking it'd be really interesting to explore from the perspective of a non-binary person who has womanhood and motherhood projected on them.
So you created these wonderful, wonderful characters, okay? Like, seriously, I thought they were amazing. You showed really both sides of perspectives really, really well. Tell us about how you kind of went in to sort of like develop these characters, and then also led into bringing your cast together, because they were amazing.
Thank you. They did a great job.
Yeah.
For me, developing the characters took a number of years, but I was really interested in how a very compassionate person can also have that be their edge and their flaw to some degree. So what's it like for someone who cares so much to experience like the brunt of other people taking advantage, even if they don't mean to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, goodness me, like there's so much in this film that has so many important moralities and meanings. Like, you did such a wonderful job, and it's sad that some of these things are ever more present in conversation in our society, in our country today. What I want to go into, though, is this world that you created, like the production, the design. Who was your team that you created this with? Like, you had such a great artistic vision for this clinic. It was eerie. It was like scary. How was that?
Oh, wonderful. I worked with a group of friends who I've known since I was a teenager.
Wow.
Yeah, since I was a teenager, and we worked really hard together to develop that vision. But my training is as a designer, so for me,
there you go. See, come on, there you go.
Yeah, for me, it was actually like really fun to do the world building and kind of sketch that out. From this idea I had around like this moon-based kind of logo and like what it means to like pull in all these kind of fertility imagery, fertility goddesses, things of that nature. And my production designer, Rachel Clyde, helped me execute it. I worked really closely with Sebastian Kleppe, my cinematographer, and Max Sokolov, one of my producers, and Kai Shin, another producer, to develop this vision. And we we held each other to a high standard to
Yeah.
make sure even the color pink was as creepy as possible.
It was. I was like, oh my goodness, I love pink, and I was like, what is going on with this color? It's crazy, and so it's really fantastic when you've got this great team of visionaries where you're kind of manipulating your audience and making them feel the energy that you want them to feel as well. Now, for you as a director, how do you work with your actors? Like, what's your process like? What's your kind of rehearsal experience? How is that for you?
Yeah, so it was my first time directing in a long time.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really important to bring some of what I admire from the nonprofit world, which is where I
yeah.
normally work,
Yeah.
to set. So making sure everybody felt safe. We had a code of conduct. I made sure that everybody was practicing pronoun introductions at the beginning. Basic things like that, just to
Yeah.
make sure it's a respectful environment.
That's
But
amazing.
we also had a lot of rehearsals. We had a few activities to try to get the actors comfortable with each other and with the crew beforehand.
Amazing. And listen, there's this again, I think one thing we even discussed at the film festival yesterday is there's kind of horror in the reality, right? And I think you articulated so well what a non-binary's perspective, human being's perspective, and how their feelings may be towards pregnancy or that particular person, and then a retrospect someone that's trying to have a child. And you just the symmetry of it was so good because you could feel both of them going through so much in their own ways, which was just so clear. But I'm just so curious, like obviously, as a writer, as a director, it started from seeing this, this billboard in San Francisco. Going from that moment to where it's gone now to being up in festivals, what did you want your audience to kind of take from your experience of this film?
That's a great question. I actually don't want to tell my audience what to think about this, but I hope it's a point of discussion for them. I think for folks who might not be as familiar with trans or non-binary issues, a lot of what's approached here is new. They might not understand the horror element of this, and so I'm hoping that opens up conversations for them and for the folks that they go to view this with.
And thank you for making a film that really recognizes and has empathy to that as well, because again, I think people don't realize what it feels like when you're on a set just to feel safe and have that experience of being your authentic self. So I'm glad that you took the time to sort of really embrace that. What was the experience like at the festival? How was it with the rest of the program? How was that experience for you?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was our world premiere.
World premiere, it's amazing.
Yeah, and your team just made us feel so welcome. It was a really great environment. I loved all the films. I actually attended the whole program.
Oh, did you? Oh my, you're a trooper. Look at you. It's amazing.
It was a really fun time.
Yeah, was it nice to see your film on the big screen? Because, like, come on, like.
Nice and nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
You always hope, like, oh, I hope it looks.
Did you
as
watch it, or did you
intended.
kind of hide at the back? How are you?
I watched it.
You watched it? Oh,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, no, it was really encouraging to hear people laugh at the intended parts.
Yes.
You know?
And then laugh at parts you're like, hang on a minute, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And did you have some of your team there with you as well?
I did,
Yeah.
yeah. I was joined by my producer Kai, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
Rachel, yeah, a few of my actors, Lauren and Juliet Deem, yeah.
Well, honestly, I'm so glad, A, that you're directing again, but B, I think you have such an amazing vision, what you gave us. Like, I almost didn't want this world to end that you created, which is sometimes in a short film, like, no, I want more. I want to see more of this. Like, what world do you bring us to next? What are you doing next? What's next in development?
Yeah, so I'm currently developing Navel Gazer into a feature.
You are amazing. That's what I want to hear. Yes.
Exactly. So if anybody would like to support, please get in contact.
Money, people, money. Okay. That's amazing. I'm super happy that is. And so just looking back on the film experience you had for our filmmaking audience, is there any advice you could share with us that you go by that helps you as a filmmaker?
Yeah, for myself, like kind of high priority is to treat people with respect. I really want every, environment that I work on to be something where I feel good about the people I'm working with, and we feel good about being able to share feedback and concerns with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think cultivating like a kind set is one of my priorities, and I would like to see that out in the world more.
I'm so happy. We don't hear that enough, and that is the first step to a great set. So Thank you so much. Well, listen, thank you so much for bringing your film. We want the feature. Can't wait for the feature, okay? But best wishes and welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shirin, everybody.